it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up because that was your fuck up, not mine.
I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot.
Floyd Mayweather shared his thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, saying that Davis is making his own choices and taking a big risk with his career. Floyd mentioned that he has given Davis advice before, but if it's not followed, it's no longer his problem. He also said the fight is good for boxing, will bring in a lot of money, and he'll definitely be watching it.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The boxing world is full of debate over the upcoming fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Fans and experts are split. Some think it's just a marketing stunt, while others see it as a chance for Tank to reach new audiences outside traditional boxing. As the discussions grow, many insiders are sharing their opinions, with some supporting Tank's decision and others saying it shows how the sport is changing.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they're gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game. But you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't got to fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy.
Trainer Greg Hackett showed frustration over the backlash Gervonta Davis has been getting. He said people today criticize fighters for almost everything without understanding their personal struggles. Hackett explained that if Davis wants to fight Jake Paul, his choice should be respected. He reminded fans that only the fighter knows what they're going through and what drives their career decisions. Hackett believes fans should stop trying to control who fighters face and instead respect the hard work and discipline it takes to stay on top. He also pointed out that social media has turned boxing criticism into a non-stop show.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get shit from you.
A big debate has also started around sports analyst Max Kellerman, who has faced backlash for his recent comments. Many believe he is too biased, especially against fighters like Gervonta Davis. In several interviews, Kellerman downplayed Tank's success, saying he was never a real champion or didn't achieve anything special. These remarks upset many boxing fans and analysts who pointed out Davis's strong record and knockout power. Critics say Kellerman's attitude shows a bias in boxing media that often overlooks young fighters while focusing too much on hype and drama. This situation shows how favoritism and perception still affect how fighters are judged by the public.
Because Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing. And to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you, is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta, that Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135, and there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi didn't hold back his thoughts on the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight. He criticized the matchup, saying it hurts the true spirit of boxing. According to him, knockouts only matter when both fighters are evenly matched, and staged fights mislead casual fans into thinking they're watching real competition. In a talk with analyst Chris Algieri, Malignaggi said that while casual viewers may enjoy the show, real boxing fans can easily see it's more about entertainment than sport. He believes giving social media fighters the same spotlight as world-class athletes confuses people about what real boxing stands for. His words highlight the growing conflict between tradition and entertainment in the boxing world.
Dude, knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can
manufacture knockouts. You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know? The way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this
with the expense
he
of
would say the guys
Witherspoon.
that were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who I contracted.
You can say the same thing about?
Who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone.
Unlike critics such as Paulie Malignaggi, boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult had a more positive view after watching the press conference between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He admitted he first doubted Davis because of the size difference, thinking Jake might be too big and strong. But after seeing Davis's calm and confident attitude, Showbiz changed his mind. He said Davis looked focused, professional, and fully aware of the moment. Showbiz believes Davis has the skills and intelligence to handle the challenge, and that his technique could be the key to beating Jake. He also mentioned that many people might be surprised to see how well Tank performs against a bigger opponent.
I beat the hell out of this kid. Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. No cap. I know Tank wasn't saying much, fumbling over his words, seems bashful. But I'm looking, right? And I'm just like, bro, he doesn't feel that Jake Paul is an issue. Even though he said it, he doesn't feel like he has to whoop his ass. He doesn't feel threatened. That's the word. He doesn't feel threatened, but he does feel out of his element. I'm gonna be honest, man. It sounds like, I know everybody's looking at this press conference and it's like, number one, I know what y'all saying. It's a clown show. It's not real. Tank was paid off. It's fake. Cause Tank, when he was talking about Jake and JB, even I was like, what is he talking about?
He laughing.
What are you talking about? What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him.
So that I could understand if that's your concern. I am being extremely truthful with how I feel about this and how I'm reacting to this. My oldest son was like, I see the same thing, Dad, but you're going to get a weird response to your take.
Floyd Mayweather's name is back in the spotlight, but this time not as a promoter, as a possible fighter. Reports say he's looking to face Mike Tyson, and many analysts think this isn't just about money. They believe Floyd wants to show he can still grab attention even after retiring. With everyone focused on the Davis versus Jake Paul fight, it seems Floyd doesn't want anyone, not even his former student, to outshine him. Observers say this is typical Mayweather, always hungry for attention, competition, and legacy. While Davis and Jake prepare for their big event, Floyd's rumored comeback shows how boxing legends constantly fight to stay relevant in today's fast-changing world of sports.
And so many people that are known where you can get somebody and they can sell tickets to events. That's what kicked off the social media influence boxing that Jake Paul was birthed from. Now we're in a vacuum. And so there's going to be a lot of conversation about that and continuing to do that. In this particular video, though, I want to get into the mind of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and why Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do this. There is the money, but there's also the competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and him not wanting to have other people think that they're a bigger star than he is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has not been able to really launch his star outside of the sport of boxing, so he continues to do exhibitions. Now, what I think is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is announced it at this point in time with Mike Tyson in order to take advantage of the publicity heading into the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul fight, which is, I do believe, set for November. So now that they have all the publicity and all that stuff coming out from that, he's going to piggyback on it and then try to have it in the beginning of next year sometime and actually make it a bigger event than Gervonta versus Jake Paul. And it probably will be. And the reason that I say that is because of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is bigger than Floyd. Let me say Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's bigger than Floyd Mayweather. I still think his name is bigger than Floyd Mayweather, even though I know Floyd has made more money in the pay-per-views. And I think that had a lot to do with, again, social media area and otherwise. But the combination of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson and the question about what is going to happen in that fight.
Former heavyweight contender Eddie Chambers warned fans not to underestimate Gervonta Davis. He said size doesn't always decide a fight and reminded everyone that boxing history has many cases where smaller, more skilled fighters beat bigger opponents. According to Chambers, Jake Paul's size won't matter much against Davis's speed, technique, and ring IQ. While Jake has improved, Chambers believes he still lacks the experience to handle a fighter of Tank's level. He added that doubting Davis would be a mistake, not just because of his power, but because of his smart strategy and discipline. Chambers' comments brought balance to the debate, reminding fans to value skill over hype. Inside sources say Davis is training with full focus and intensity, showing calm confidence at press events. For him, this fight is about more than money. It's about pride, opportunity, and proving himself. A win over Jake Paul could bring Tank massive mainstream attention and help him reach new audiences. While critics call it a circus, Davis seems determined to show he can mix entertainment with real competition and stay in control of his own story.
Conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's gonna get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games, don't hit him in the back of the head, don't rabbit punch him, don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not caring about the belts and all of that stuff came with Floyd Mayweather Jr., man.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley also shared his thoughts, showing strong confidence in Gervonta Davis. He called the fight an easy payday for Tank, saying Davis's skill and experience make Jake Paul's challenge look small. Bradley noted that Davis has beaten top-level fighters, while Jake has only faced a few professionals. He admitted Jake's effort deserves respect, but said the difference in experience is too big to overlook. According to Bradley, Davis's speed, defense, and timing will quickly expose Jake's weaknesses, and the only real danger for Tank is taking the fight too lightly. As long as he stays focused, Bradley expects Davis to win easily. He also pointed out that this fight reflects a bigger change in boxing. The line between entertainment and real competition is fading. The Davis versus Jake Paul matchup shows how traditional boxing skill is now clashing with modern celebrity influence.
Contract, yeah. You prove your innocence and say that it ain't fixed. Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many hoes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, it's gonna be taking candy from a baby. Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. Fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he them ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no. Yeah. False sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size.
For boxing purists, this new trend feels uncomfortable, but for marketers, it's pure brilliance. No matter what people think, the event has already done something rare. It has captured the world's attention. Fighters like Gervonta Davis are learning to balance real boxing values with entertainment. Whether fans like it or not, this fight shows that boxing isn't dying. It's changing and finding new ways to stay alive in today's world.
Right in that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. if there's anything, man, shoot, man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever, bro. And we can, hey, all your fans can give you $1, bro, so that way you don't be shoot blowing this fight. It's easy, bro. This sparring section. You know, look, I'm so confused. I don't know what the hell to call this. The circus? Just call it a circus. Yeah, just call it a damn circus. Because, you know, one minute they said, oh, this is the fight.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.